Welcome to a tutorial on copying splines to the spline workspace, averaging and comparing them. Here we have a data set where we've labeled a set of segments, for instance L segments, and we've also taken note of the vowel context. So in this little tutorial we'll compare the L contours in two different vowel contexts. We go up to File, Export and Data. We want to select an export to file. This should be a text file in a part of the disk space that the user has access to. In the filter section, we want to select the subset of data. We'll click the current client. We want all recordings by that client. And in the annotations, we want to filter an annotation. We want to select labels that comply with L/L/. And in this case, we'll look at keyword context that has been pre-labeled as A-. That means that the vowel occurs before the L. In the rows, we will select a single point, and we'll select the midpoint. Each of the segments has been labeled as full segment, start to end, so we'll pick the midpoint. In terms of the columns, this data goes into a text file. For the purpose of this tutorial, it's not really significant as to what data goes in here. The Splines tab will only appear if the Export Spline workspace is checked. And in the Splines tab, you must select which spline you want to export. So for instance, this case, tongue. We'll click Execute. It works its way through the various recordings with the required segments in them. It offers to show the text file, which we're not interested in this case. I'll click No. And it puts these different splines into the spline workspace. Now what we can do is select all of these splines by clicking and dragging. And in the options here, we have the option to do mean and standard deviation. And then if I select all of these splines again and make them invisible, we can see more clearly here the mean values with the standard deviation, and these values are noted in the text file here, which can be copied and pasted. Now, if we do this again, if we go into File and Data Export, and in the filter option this time we change the filter and we want the context where the vowel follows, the A vowel follows the L. And if we go into splines, we'll select tongue again and execute. And this time we'll get a different set of splines with a slightly different context. And again, click No. So you've got a new set of splines. Again, select these, mean and standard deviation, select them again and make them invisible. So now we've got two sets of means. Now if we select one and then hold the Control key down and select another, we can click this diff button to find out where they're significantly different, and the t-test is performed, in this case at the 5% level. And here we can see the points in these solid lines here where there is a significant difference. And if I highlight this difference fan, we can see the t-test values with significant values with an asterisk next to them. And indeed, we can select all of these, Control C to copy. If I open up Notepad, for instance, we can paste these in.